Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm Robert Karpolis, and this is Rumor and Innuendo. I'm not quite sure where Dom is. Dom just pinged me a few moments ago that he's going to be running late. He was hoping to join if he was able to join. So in the meantime, it is just me. I am here, and Dom is texting the group. So you gotta love that. But hey, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate all of you joining us here. Say hi to a couple of the folks who are joining us. Travis Wadlow, not to be confused with Wardlow, said, just want to say there is a distinct lack of Hurricane Helms talk, considering the situation of the past couple days. Yeah, you got to be honest. You feel like WWE would have probably tried to exploit this. Throw out a guy there named Hurricane Milton, have Shane Helms beat the hell out of him. I would have tuned in. I would have watched it. Devin Dowling says, hey guys, happy Friday. One of the best sports nights of my life last night. The Yanks moved to the ALCS at the same time the Niners beat Seattle. Super happy about what happened with the Yankees. Obviously, as a Yankees fan, my wife's like, well, why are you a Yankees fan? I'm like, born in New York. It's what you do. You either chose the Mets or the Yankees, and I could not, in good conscience, choose the Mets and then move down here. We had the Florida Marlins. They tried. And I think that's what matters. Michael Watson says 3 a.m. here in Australia. I'm tuning in to hear the Joseph Wade Walter mention. It looks like Joseph not joining us here today. I know Joseph's had a challenging week. We send our thoughts and prayers out to him. Thank you for joining us at 3 a.m. in Australia. And I will do my best to avoid a bluey accent. It's kind of what I want to do. It's a little bit of like I want to do. I have like the Bluey toys over to the left. My children's toys. I'm going to resist it. Stuart Green says, "Hey Robert, looks like a comfy couch. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from the couch in my family room. Due to the fact that we have the cleaning folks here today, so they're servicing. And look who showed up to work. It's Dominic D'Angelo, and the best part of this is there's about a 90% chance when he clicks on, I'm going to hear an echo of myself. So we'll preempt the damn it Dom. But hey, happy you showed up for work, my man. Happy Friday to you, Mr. Dominic D'Angelo.
Happy Robert. I can barely hear you because for some reason this is in my headphones. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right.
And now,
great.
Yes, we're here. We're making this work. We're making this happen. It's nice to see one of my co-hosts here and not on Scrabble. So welcome, Dominic D'Angelo. What an episode we've got lined up for you today. We're going to be talking WrestleDream. We're going to be talking SmackDown. We're going to be talking why Dom is dressed like a low-level street hood. But
hey, let's go.
Why are you dancing? You became
this
a
is
dancing.
My fighting stance.
That is a terrible
ready?
fighting
I'm ready.
stance.
It's my Friday fighting stance. Let's go. I'm ready for a WrestleDream. I'm ready for SmackDown.
Settle in. Yes, we're going to talk SmackDown. You sent the SmackDown preview, and the first is Roman Reigns sounds off following WWE Bad Blood. We're going to see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defend against Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, and LA Knight puts the U.S. title on the line against Carmelo Hayes. We got to talk at the very top. Roman Reigns. Dom, what are you hoping to see tonight?
I would definitely like to see him kind of walk the fine line of being a baby face, but also not fully like subscribing to Cody Rhodes and like forming a friendship. I still want tension there. I want a lot of tension there and everything like that. I would hope to see him really. We talked about this yesterday about Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline kind of feeling a little lesser than, I think, or at least my opinion from that. I would like to see him in some sort of way kind of help elevate those guys and still make them feel like a big deal and keep those stakes cooking a little bit for Survivor Series and set the tone for what we're going to be looking forward to. Because yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for, Robert. How about you? Is there certain other aspect you're taking from it?
Yes. So I think, yes, you're distancing yourself from the the Cody Rhodes of it all. Cody is clearly moving on to the Kevin Owens situation. He's also moving on to the Gunther situation. So Roman has to address what happened at the end of Bad Blood, both the fact that Jimmy Uso is now here. Jimmy Uso has returned, and we're now filling out the original Bloodline card, but also the surprising return of The Rock. And the way that Roman's facial expression was at the end of that show, he looked just as confused as Cody Rhodes was. So this was not the tribal chief and final boss strategizing together to come up with a new way to screw over Cody. This was Roman as zoinks as Cody was. So I feel like it has to be a promo of confidence that we won, or I won. I am going to get back my title as the tribal chief, but also a little bit of hey Dwayne, what's the deal, my man?
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. And I think if Roman does something like that and kind of indicate like, hey, we're not really on the same page, and it kind of teases for what's to come between those two. And Roman's already a big star, but if you get him lined up against The Rock, it really, really starts to feel like a big deal coming forward. But I'll just say this real quick that The Rock reportedly told WWE he's not able to do WrestleMania 41, Robert.
Really?
That's according to, I believe, Dave Meltzer. Let me make sure. I will confirm that here. Yes, in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter is stated he's not going to be able to do Mania. He already gave the word that he wouldn't be able to do that match. It could be the triple threat, I think they're referring to.
We'll see what he ultimately winds up doing. There have been a couple of WrestleManias where Rock was unavailable, and somehow they were able to make things come together. I think if there's an intriguing enough story, or there's a way they can find a possibility of using Rock, maybe it's using Rock at Royal Rumble if he's not going to be at WrestleMania, and they clear the path for a Roman Cody 3 at WrestleMania. A lot of options, a lot of speculation. Obviously, we are still several months out. They are not bringing The Rock back at Bad Blood, and that's the end of it. I think that's kind of, if we hadn't seen Rock since WrestleMania, since he handed Cody some secret thing in his hand, and we don't know what it was, and then he vanished into the ether, then you can start to say, okay, maybe Rock's not going to be available. However, he was at Bad Blood, and then this report comes out. I think our boy Dave Meltzer might be getting swerved a little.
Maybe a touch there. Maybe a touch. Yes. Also, we have on the card for SmackDown. We have. Oh, you mentioned it.
I mentioned the things that were on there. I was gonna take them piecemeal, but it's why we're here. So yes. You've got this women's tag title match, which is coming off of what happened at NXT. So I love that, and here's why: because you're making NXT feel like appointment TV. We know that 800 and however many thousand, 840 something thousand people tuned in to watch NXT. So they are engaged in the product. They are engaged in what's going on. But when you create a synergy between that and the main show, we had Ethan Page show up on Raw. We're now having this tag team match here on SmackDown. It's making NXT feel more ingrained with the larger product, which is always a smart idea that other people in other companies could maybe write that down.
Maybe they could take some notes. I think, yes, with this, you're introducing, Jakara Jackson and, oh my gosh, Lash Legend to a new audience. Yep, to a new audience. And in turn, you're also introducing a new tag team into the mix and kind of making the women's tag team division, feel a little bit fresh and get some new faces in there. And I think that's really needed in the women's division overall for WWE, like especially on the SmackDown side of things. So,
by the way,
benefit of both.
To piggyback on that Rock thing of thinking he was going to be here and then him not showing up, Joseph Wade Walters arriving a couple minutes late, apologizing that he is late, but always good to see the final boss of Rumor and Innuendo arriving here. The third match on this show, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes. I saw WrestleVotes were the first to kind of break this story, and those guys definitely seem to have the ear of someone within the Stanford ecosystem. They are changing. They being WWE pronoun pal seem to be changing course a little bit given the injury to AJ Styles.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's unfortunate, but they say it in football, next man up, and Carmelo Hayes is one of those guys that you'd like to see put in that forefront, and I think it could have a pretty fresh match with LA Knight when it comes to things, and maybe set a good tone for both guys in the ring. I think we've both agreed upon that LA Knight's kind of been part of the course of who he is as a character and things like that. And, getting somebody new and young and athletic as Carmelo Hayes in there could help things out. He's not AJ Styles to that level, but he's Carmelo Hayes and has a lot of talent with him. So
he
I'm
is, he does it. And, I'll be the first to say it. LA Knight doesn't particularly excite me. I don't see that guy and I'm like, man, I'm really like, I'm engaged. I'm enthused. I want to see what happens. But guys, if you want to be engaged, you want to be enthused, you want to rise to the occasion, our next sponsor needs no introduction. You've seen the ads. You've heard us talk about it a million times, and I bet there's a big part of you, no pun intended, that wants to try it. What am I talking about? Blue Chew. That's right. This isn't your grandpa's blue pill. This is the one, the OG chewable tablet for better sex. Blue Chew is the unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Blue Chew wants you to have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Yeah, we saw what happened at AJ Styles last week. His leg is definitely feeling pretty stiff, pretty achy. And guys, if you want to make a part of you feel pretty stiff, Blue Chew wants to help you because they want the entire country rock hard. They told me, it says here, please read verbatim, so I do apologize. That's their mission. They will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house, till every tent is pitched, till every rod is raised. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RUMOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code RUMOR, to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this Friday edition of Rumor and Innuendo.
Yes, thank you, Blue Chew. Man, what a company. Proud to be in the mix of them.
When Dom ad-libs, it's a thing.
I don't know what's going on. My earbuds are like killing me here. And I'm hearing Arn all over my phone, my headphones. Arn Anderson's talking.
Why are you hearing Arn Anderson? You're just hearing the voice of Arn Anderson?
I'm hearing the voice of Arn Anderson.
Thankfully, all of us are not, because as much as we love Arn, if you're not prepared for an Arn Anderson podcast and you're driving a vehicle or operating heavy machinery and Arn starts talking, you may veer into oncoming traffic. You may die. So we don't want that. We love you, Arn, but whew. You'll find yourself in a WrestleDream listening to that voice. But I'm going to get my ass kicked by Arn Anderson. I'm okay with that. Of all the producers I worked with, he was definitely one of them. He could wear a sleeveless sweater like nobody's business. Nice dude. Really, really enjoyed him quite a bit. Excited to see what happens with him and Brock. Excited to see what happens on WrestleDream, an 11-match card.
My goodness,
that just sprung up out of nowhere.
Are you ready for this graphic, Robert? Look at this.
Oh no, there's a graphic. Oh god.
Yes, here it is.
Right, fine.
Can you see everyone?
I don't have to move. This is kind of nice,
isn't it? Right, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to start?
Well, we start at the bottom and then we work our way up. Okay. This is 10 matches. I thought there was 11. Is there one that I'm missing or not on there? Or
older graphic?
No, because this has Swerve on there. I'm gonna go to the. We'll keep this
Is
up.
that Swerve?
Look sharp. There's Swerve making an appearance.
Oh yes, that's right. He is supposed to return.
I'm pulling up the card on the old telephone here. I went to AEW's website. That's a disaster.
Whoa.
Here we go. Wikipedia. Wikipedia has 11 matches.
Oh.
There is Atlantis Jr. versus Brian Cage for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship.
Who is that? Atlantis? Is he the champion? Who's
Atlantis is the champion, according to Wikipedia, and he's in the bottom corner of this graphic. Of all the masked wrestlers we've seen this week, he is one of them. That's one of the matches that's not on this. The Beast Mortos match.
Oh, yes.
A main event anywhere in the world. But we've got Atlantis Jr. versus Brian Cage. And for those of you unfamiliar with Ring of Honor competes exclusively in Atlantis, under the sea, because nobody else sees it anywhere else in the world.
Is that where the venue is? They have a residence down there in Atlantis?
I got to assume, because it certainly ain't anywhere else on Earth.
Yes. Well, then Atlantis has to retain that, I would guess. It's his home.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Atlantis Jr. has to retain for Atlantis. There's Chris Jericho versus Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And the last Chris Jericho Ring of Honor World title reign was a bit of a disaster that made no sense. You belittle the dude's dead brother. I can't imagine Jericho's winning this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of didn't factor that in, but yes, I'm with you. Mark Briscoe has to win after the brother's been referenced.
There's we can give that more time if you want.
Do you want to? Okay.
No, I don't. No, I don't. We're good. Stop it. Darby Allin versus Brody King. One of these guys is, trying to reestablish himself as a future world champion. The other guy establishing himself as a dude who wants to get the hell out of there and go to WWE. So, my goodness, I wonder who's going to win this, Dom.
Yeah, Darby's on the track to be the next champion potentially later on down the road. He's supposed to be one of the faces of the company. You got to think it's probably going to be Darby Allin. And the match is going to be entertaining, I think, at the very least. So we'll get that. But yes, I don't think Brody King has much of a chance to be the victor in this one.
We've got Don't Call Me Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, defending the AEW TNT Championship against Shibata. Shibata, by the way, much older than I thought he was, given how well he looks. He's like 44.
Is he really?
Great. Yeah, he looks great for 44.
Wow, he does. He looks like 28.
Yes, whereas Jack Perry, since becoming the scapegoat, is now in his mid-50s.
Time has aged him. Glass has aged him.
Glass has aged him, but I see no reason to take the TNT title off of him. I don't want to see Shibata driving a bus.
Yeah. No, I think you want to keep the Elite as hot as you can. And if they have titles, that just helps them. So, yes, I think Jack Perry will retain as well, Robert.
We've got the Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Konosuke, Takeshita three-way match for the International Championship.
Yeah. If I had to, I don't think Will Ospreay is going to retain his title. I think it'll go to either Ricochet or Shibata. Not Shibata. Oh my God.
So you picked two guys who aren't in the match. It was either going to be Swerve or Shibata in the Ricochet Takeshita Ospreay match.
That's my prediction.
You know what it is? It's because the graphics in the middle screen is throwing you off. I'm going to help you here.
Okay.
My guess, my assumption, my thought is we are setting up a Kyle Fletcher full-fledged heel turn on Will Ospreay.
Okay.
What this allows is for Takeshita to win the international championship, which gives Takeshita something to do. It takes this title off of Ospreay, who absolutely does not need the 13th most important title that AEW has. And it gives Ricochet somebody new to go after. I think Ricochet Takeshita is an interesting feud. Ospreay getting a chance to get revenge against Kyle Fletcher. A lot of fun. We'll see. And then watch me be wrong and they pin Takeshita clean.
That might happen. You know what? I'll just say Ricochet will win because they need to. He can't be. I don't want him to feel like a third wheel in this whole equation of things. And he's
Well,
such
he's the
a.
third wheel.
I know, but
He's
you don't
he's
want
the
to.
he's the third wheel in this. I think these guys are going to try to kill it. I think this is going to probably be match of the night. I think this is going to be a blast. But I think Ricochet having a clear heel to go after, a big mean heel in Takeshita, is fun to watch because there are, counting this one, 3 pay-per-views between October and December in AEW.
Is there really 3 papers?
There's Full Gear, and there's the World's End of the World, whatever that show is, which is in Orlando, Florida.
Wow. Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, I'll go with Ricochet. I'll just say he's going to win it, and they need to keep him hot. So.
Yeah. Look, in worst case scenario, Ricochet will still be home on Sunday to watch the Big Brother finale. Young Bucks take on Private Party. It's a match 5 years in the making, and it is just as hot now as it was 5 years ago. There is no bigger tag team in AEW than Private Party, made up of 2 of my favorite wrestlers, Zay and Quen. Love those guys. Really dynamic personalities. They've really refined them, honed them. You feel like you know them. So there's no chance that they're Bucks.
I'm going to say I'll predict that they will win. They'll pull the upset, Robert, just because they need to do something with this tag division and keep people off guard. If you give it, I mean, it's going against the convention of what AEW has garnered itself as. So I think, and that's building new stars. So I think they're going to pull the trigger on this one. I think maybe this might be the turnaround, Robert. I believe it's going to happen.
We got Mariah May taking on Willow Nightingale. They have spent almost 4 whole days building this. So what a match! What an exciting! I think these two are going to kill it. Let's put here. Willow Nightingale is incredibly talented. I've said before, she's sort of the Mick Foley of the women's division of AEW. She's somebody that you want to believe in. She's really interesting. She's really fun to watch. Mariah May has been incredible. Mariah May's big story, obviously, is when Mina Shirakawa finally returns and Toni Storm is back. That is the match you want to see. We're just going to have to sit through what I'm sure will be a entertaining but pointless match, very much like Bayley Nia Jax.
Yeah, I think I do believe Mariah May will retain. I think there's definitely this can be a great match for those two, and I want to see Willow Nightingale be like one of the biggest baby faces AEW has overall. I'm not just saying from a just a women's perspective, but overall, because I think she has that old school kind of Bayley potential to kind of connect, and like you said, Mick Foley. So hopefully they just kind of have Mariah May win by nefarious means. And then it continues later on. They can build to something later on with these two. But yes, I'm with you. I think Mariah May retains.
Speaking of matches built 3 days in advance, Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. Both of these guys are very, very talented. Jay White just returning from injury. Hangman in the middle of arguably the biggest heel push of his career. I feel like they're going to feed Jay White to Hangman Adam Page here. What say you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I do. I think Jay White returning in a babyface role kind of does freshen him up. So I would like to them not see they do that, but it's like you're trying to heat Page up and continue him on this like monster kind of new identity that he's a loose cannon and everything like that. So I think to only perpetuate that, they have to have him win. So yeah, unfortunately, I think Jay White's going to get fed to Hangman.
This match is on Wikipedia is listed as happening, but it's not on the card here. It was apparently coming from a Rampage match, according to Fightful. That it's the MXM collection, Mansoor and Mace, whatever he goes by here, versus the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
That's a perfect response. Moving on. Hologram versus the Beast. In a 2 out of 3 falls match, Dom, we are getting up to 3 Beast Mortos matches here. 3 opportunities to see Hologram, who's always dressed like a crossing guard or a construction worker. He definitely looks like, I'm putting it back up here, Joseph Wade Walters in his picture wearing the neon green vest. Looks a lot like Hologram. I've never seen the 2 of them in the same place at the same time.
It's a good
I
point.
also don't see a situation in which this new Jake Roberts led heel stable of lucha villains of rudos. Let's mix cultures.
Ooh, nice.
I know they're Los Ingobernables de Jamon, which I believe is ham,
Ooh,
but
nice.
I think that 2 out of 3 falls enables each guy to get a pin, and then some sort of chicanery shenanigans. Roosh or Jake Roberts interferes, and hologram. Everybody's favorite wrestler picks up this first loss.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
I will say hologram continues the winning streak.
you
And
would.
Jake Roberts, this is when Jake Roberts has the come to Jesus meeting with Beast Mortos and the crew. Hey, we got to shape it up. That kind of thing.
Main event: Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
This is the hottest feud of SmackDown 2013. I can't wait to see what happens with Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose. This match was built because one dude put a plastic bag over the other dude's head. And I know what you're thinking. I didn't see the pay-per-view. When did this happen? They can't show the footage. It was that upsetting. It was that poorly thought out. They cannot re-air the footage of this. They have hyped that when Bryan Danielson loses the title, he theoretically, kind of, sort of, maybe is going to retire. Possibly. This is his home. This is his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, if you build up Moxley and this crew, and Moxley loses to Bryan, fire everybody.
Robert, is there a certain way you could have the fact that the numbers become a factor, the numbers game? Moxley brings out, Claudio, brings out Pac, brings out, I don't know, somebody else introduces a new person. And then we have somebody come big time, make the save for Danielson, and then he retains. And then you can further this, really build the storyline up for next Wednesday on Dynamite. Would that still be okay, or do you think Moxley's got to win this no matter what?
Here come the numbers. Doing the Shane fist thing.
Yes, that's it.
So Moxley and crew keep talking about how they're, doing this on behalf of someone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is Shane. We don't know. We
That's
know
gotta be Shane.
We know that Swerve is returning on this show. I'm surprised they announced it. If anything, I would have set up a situation where because you look at who benefits from winning the title here. If Bryan wins the title and beats Jon Moxley at this pay-per-view, Bryan has to move on to somebody else.
Right.
Who is the next guy who's heated up and ready to go? Maybe Hangman Adam Page, but then what's going on with Moxley and their crew? What are they going to do during that? If Moxley were to win, finds a bigger plastic bag, maybe a burlap sack, I don't know, and then you need somebody who's going to make the save on Bryan, it could be Swerve.
Yeah.
And then Swerve is the guy who's set up to go after Moxley to try to win back the title that he lost as a full-fledged babyface. But it does kind of feel like Swerve's appearance on this show is designed for him to be confronted by MVP, confronted by Shelton Benjamin, and possibly attacked by Bobby Lashley. Yeah. Which means at some point soon, Dom, we could get either Jon Moxley or Bryan Danielson versus Lashley.
Ooh, yes.
In which case we really are. We are like, give me the big fist. We're booking SmackDown.
We're booking. We're ready to go. We're ready to go.
And by the way, I'll leave this on this before we jump out of here at a time. Devin Dowling says, Willa Yuta turning heel? It's what I kind of thought was going to happen at the end of the Tuesday AEW Dynamite, and it didn't happen. So I would be surprised if it were to happen here. I think it would help Yuta, but that ain't the case. What will help you guys out is if you pull up your phone, your device, you're listening, whatever, and you go search for Working Stiff. Myself and Scott Chaplin talk all things WrestleDream, all things WWE. We get into conspiracy theories involving Tony Khan, untied shoes, the works. It's a blast. It's absolutely worth listening to it. And then when you're done with that, you can go listen to Straight Talk with the Boss, Magnum TA and Greg Gagne, and their intrepid producer, Dominic D'Angelo.
Hey, that is right. You can tune in. We're live today now at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in there and check us out. Last night I recorded with RVD. We did a full-blown episode, covered a lot of great ground on that one. So be sure to tune into that. Go to rvdtv.com. Robert, yeah, it should be an interesting weekend covering. We'll be covering WrestleDream once we get back and giving the recaps on it all and previewing Raw.
Yes, we'll be back on Monday talking the fallout of WrestleDream. We'll be talking all things Monday Night Raw and all the news that breaks over the course of the weekend. So be sure to tune in here Monday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, the SE Scoops X account, or on YouTube on ad-free shows Working Stiff and Rumor and Innuendo. So on behalf of the tardy but never late Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
I'm always on time.